to guide you through the undertow. From tales of love lost and battles won, to secrets that hide when the day is done. We'll paint the night with stories so stark. Welcome to Family Law After Dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. The lawyer's voice smooth like leather, piecing lives only he can tether. In the sultry jazz lounge, let the wisdom flow. Feel the rhythm in the late night glow. Through custody tangles and alimony strife, he navigates the drama of everyday life. With a wry wink and a cheeky remark, let's unravel family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark. Light up that cigar and pour a glass of red, as we wade through matters not often said, where hearts and minds often leave a mark. Dive deep into family law after dark.
And with that, it is officially Friday afternoon, the end to a very chaotic and busy week, whirlwind week, some would say, both news-wise and real life. And look at Aquanetta coming in hot with the $10 super chat to get FLAD started. I hope you all have your beverages. Never mind that Bruce looked like he's filming out of a potato. He's doing just fine. He's got his Wi-Fi booster. And I think he's got, well, his audio will be fine. We're also joined by the Schnitzel for the first time in a long time.
Hey.
Brad's going to be coming in. It's going to be the OG crew for tonight's episode. We have some, well, we got a smorgasbord. Does people still say that? Smorgasbord? Or is that like a 50s term gone awry?
Yeah, I guess it's technically still a word.
Well, I've just revived it, so how about that? We're doing it anyway. Amy and Kelly are in the chat. I'm going to be doing their show tomorrow night. They rescheduled it on account of FLAD, which I greatly appreciate them for doing. Rob is in the chat. Obviously, Aquanetta, saw Winks in there, Missy. All of the usual suspects. How are you folks doing? How was your week? Well, don't all go at once.
I was going to let Bruce go.
Oh, Bruce.
How is my audio doing? Am I a robot?
That's better.
Yeah, you sound much better. If anything,
it's better.
But the video is freezing.
Yeah, the video, like I said, the video is not great, but there we go.
I'm going to kill my video then. Yeah.
That sounds good. Like your voice.
It's been really hot here. Yeah, I'm about 2 seconds away from ordering Starlink or something because my signal's not very good lately.
Yeah. How you been, Schnitzel?
Oh, living life, doing all the shit.
Living the dream, living the high life, as some would say. The high life.
Not that way, but yeah, I've been super crazy busy.
Yeah. I've been all over the place, not as much as my friend Lauren, who doesn't remember where she originally lived. She's all over the place, man. Little globetrotter that one is.
Yeah, she is.
I was out there with her last weekend in Phoenix. Rob was over there. I got a chance to meet him.
Nice.
And Michelle Moulton in the chat was in there. Andy Signori. Zach was over there. And I met the whole crew. And we had a lot. We met Clayton Eckert. That was cool.
Yeah.
He did a little dance on the stage.
Him, right?
What was that?
That was your first time meeting him, right?
In person, yeah. I've talked to him. Well, just happenstance, but yeah, meeting him in person. A super chill dude, man. He was it was a good time. Also, it is hot as balls over there in Arizona for no reason. Like the difference, like in California, like it gets up to triple digits, but like the sun goes down and then it gets back to a reasonable temperature, like down to the 60s or whatnot. Over there, no, it's like midnight and it's 103 for no reason. Makes no sense. I don't know how you do it, Rob. My heart and prayers go out to all you Arizonians that are living in the midst of the sun. But let us commence. We're not going to wait for Brad because there's no telling when he's coming. He's on baby duties right now. Exactly. That's what Brad says.
So, Omar, speaking of Lauren and Andy and all that, can we take like 5 or 10 minutes? And I have a question.
Absolutely.
That I still don't understand about these subpoenas that have been issued to YouTubers and ex-people.
Yeah.
Related to the Lively Baldoni case.
I've talked to them.
I don't want to spend a million years on it. I just have like 2 quick questions.
What's your question? For sure.
So here's what I don't understand. If I was taking money from Wayfarer to do some quote unquote smear videos.
Yeah.
Okay. How does a subpoena issued to Google to show my AdSense revenue or whatever it is help them figure out that I've taken this money? I don't see the connection.
I don't disagree with you. Matter of fact, that was like the number one, like their requests are overbroad. Like, what are you even asking? The AdSense revenue? Do you want their literal bank accounts? Because Google doesn't have that information. They might have a direct deposit account or something.
Yeah. So let's say I have AdSense, which I do, and it goes to my, let's say it goes to my Chase bank account number 123. And the Lively team can get that. Even that doesn't mean that I took money separately from Wayfair and put it in the same account. Do you know what I mean? I have like a bunch of accounts I can put money in.
So in other words, what you're saying is the way they're doing it is kind of dumb and inefficient.
I just don't, it doesn't make sense. It in terms of if they want to find people who are taking money from Wayfair, I don't understand how these subpoenas accomplish that logically.
Well, these subpoenas don't, and I think that they're quashable. I've been saying for the last couple of days that this is an easy quash.
Okay.
Ashley Lawyers came out and did a show today and said that that particular issue is an easy quash. Have the contact information, but bank accounts, that's a bit much. What do you mean? And then, like, I think we both agree that the way to go about that is
Google doesn't know all of my bank accounts. Only I do.
I know. But, and they might not even have that. They may, like, for example, the non-monetized channel, they might not have any of her.
Oh, yeah. They won't even have anything on the non-monetized channels. They'll only have information for AdSense.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes no sense. And I just wanted to run that by you because I'm not a lawyer and I don't understand subpoenas.
No, you're
the answer to this question.
Yeah, the answer is obvious. It's it's not obvious, but the answer is what's up, Brad?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
The answer is you're on the right track because me and other lawyers seem to agree that the way that they're going about it is dumb. Like the correct way, what they should do is they've been doing discovery for months, right? And so give me all or any communications you've had with YouTube content creators whatsoever about anything related to anything to Blake Lively, right?
Sure.
And then they get a list of names or whatever, and then they could go after those specific creators. But that would mean that they would have an offer of proof to subpoena specifically. They've chosen these 16 YouTubers. I want to say at random, but I also want to maybe not say at random because they've been strategic in who they're asking. I mean, Cassidy, Andy, Lauren, 16 others, this one with 38 subscribers that has an astrology channel. And so it doesn't make any sense. I think it's more or less, and I think others agree with me, a First Amendment violation to, they're trying to chill free speech. That's one ground to quash this subpoena. The other is that it's overbroad because they're asking for bank information without any kind of offer of proof of how it's relevant to the causes of action. So to answer your question, if it doesn't make sense to you, it don't make sense to me, and that's the basis for the motion to quash.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Was there another question before we could start, FLAD?
So does the idea that they're the lively position is that Baldoni paid content creators for positive press in the same way you're paying a PR firm? Would that not be the juxtaposition or the reason as to why they're looking for that bank information to try and search for transfers?
Yeah, but it's inefficient. It's like, check this out. Imagine that you were the one funding the smear campaign, right? And you might have paid like 100 people. So they go to a pool of 1 million and at random select 30 and say, give me all your bank records. I want to see if you have any interactions with Brad.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what they're doing. And so what I and others have commented on is
I guess that's part of my question. They're asking Google for information about a commentator.
Yeah.
That doesn't give them all their bank records. I could have 6 bank accounts and only use one for AdSense. And even if you have all my records for that one that uses AdSense, you don't have my other 5.
Or the secret one that you use for Pornhub Premium.
Well, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Like, so I don't understand how this subpoena accomplishes their goal.
It doesn't. It's the dumbest way to go, which is why I look. Monat is not like they are not like first or second year attorneys. This is not their first rodeo. They know what they're doing, which is why this leads me to believe that they don't give a shit about what they're going to get back. They're trying to calm down the loudest advocates for Justin Baldoni to distract from what's going on with the depositions. That's what I feel like they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is working because now everybody's making videos about these subpoenas rather than how deposition is. She's trying to dodge the deposition. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
you can make videos about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
The proper flow to get the information would be, was any of these aliases that Justin Baldoni is known to be using communicating with these people? Yes. Okay. Well, now we have a nexus for he's communicating with these people, and there's a possibility they might be getting paid by him. So now we query for bank records in order to be able to prove that or disprove that.
Yeah, you'd go inside out, and what they're doing is going outside in, which doesn't make any sense.
So there's been a lot of moving on from the subpoena thing, and just touching. I just released a video on the Epstein files. What do you think of that, Brad? What's your opinion? Do you want to see the Epstein files? Do you believe that Trump is implicated?
I don't know whether Trump is implicated, but I think he is harming himself in doing a big press announcement with binders full of popular influencers saying this is phase 1 of the files, and then saying that it's a complete hoax, nothing burger, nothing to see here. It's really awkward to from a messaging standpoint.
So are you at least mad at Trump at the way that he's approaching these Epstein files?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I believe because Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, to a certain degree, are the ones who, before the election, were the ones harping the loudest, saying these need to be released, these need to get out.
They
and
were.
Then they get into office. Yeah, they get into office, and then it's like, wow, it just effing disappeared. Where the heck did it go?
No, he killed himself. There's no list. Nothing to see here. Let's just move along. And you know what? If you want to inquire further, you're a weakling. You're a weakling. Obama wrote the files. It was Obama and it was Biden. It was the Democrats.
Biden.
Yeah, it was Biden.
I don't know where he's getting that, but I think it was Elon that posted it. He goes, well, I'm so glad that Epstein hung himself for complete nothing burger in jail. And it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of a good point because, everyone, when they go to jail, just, do...
investigating a true crime case in like the 1 minute that went missing from the surveillance footage with the
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutes was stripped of all metadata, and so you can't even tell when the alteration happened.
I have said from the beginning, and I am in this way a conspiracy theorist. I think that he is not dead, and I think that he is hiding somewhere alive.
there are people who believe that his brother received all of his money, and then the 3 minutes are just enough to try and get him out of the building into a van that was parked waiting there, and then he just disappears.
So then these autopsy photos would be what, like a rubber body, like in Stranger
Laura
Things?
edited them.
Any
Like the
kind of
1993 alien autopsy video on Fox that they played at 8 p.m. when I was a young boy.
I mean, that was the plot of Stranger Things, right? They pretend this kid disappears and they find a body, but it's not actually his body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a clay model.
Clay model.
It'd be even.
I have a question for Brad.
Good.
Would it change your opinion on Donald Trump if he were named / implicated in the files?
If it was a pedophile.
My opinion of him would go down, but the reason I wanted him in the office is still valid, even though my opinion of him personally would be down.
Would you still vote for him if he was a pedophile?
No, because one of the reasons why the Epstein files is such a big deal is because if you believe that there's a cabal of elites who are participating in the exploitation of minors, and then the idea of getting that information out was to shine the light on it and hopefully bring those people to justice to try and break up that ring.
All right.
Now, question,
Brad. Fist bump to that.
Do you trust that administration to give us the files in their raw form without removing, say, Donald Trump's information from them?
I likely believe that he's not in the files because the previous administration would have done everything they could to slander him if he was there. And because the Democrats haven't been pushing for this until it became a bad PR move from Donald Trump. Prior to that, they really could care less about it.
Well, to that, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm really disappointed that Biden didn't go further and that he just was trying to be, I don't know, principled in his approach.
That's the problem with a lot of Democrats. They're trying to be too much of the good guy and too principled. They're not unhinged enough.
Well, I promise you that's going to change in 2026. There's no more principles.
How about that release today about Tulsi Gabbard posting that Obama ordered the creation of a report from the intelligence community to show that Russia was interfering in the election when the intelligence community in briefs prior said that they weren't.
Well, I don't know that I trust Tulsi Gabbard anymore. And I haven't even heard that story, and so I don't have the information to even opine
today. So
yeah. If that's fresh off the presses, I have not been engaged in political discourse, sir.
And
I was talking about Epstein. I'll have to answer that on a different
been turning for like 2 weeks. So
yeah.
Oh, question. What do you think about, sorry, I didn't know this is become a political stream. What do you think about the women who have come forward and said, for example, one of them, when they were 13 years old, they were forced to give Donald Trump an HJ with a glove on, and that he basically, well, even that in and of itself, let's just take that.
The Katie Johnson one, I believe, has been determined to be a hoax by a producer from the Jerry Springer show, if I remember correctly, or Maury.
Though, was it not? Was it not a real lawsuit? Was it actually a lawsuit that was filed and retracted?
Filed a lawsuit, 2016, I thought.
2016, exactly.
I think it was a fake doe that was brought by the producer, which is why it never went anywhere.
Well, I won't never know that because the allegations are that there were death threats upon this lady, basically
child, 13-year-old child.
She filed it. Says I was while she was at a party with Epstein, Trump did nefarious things with her and Epstein, and then she gets all these death threats, and then she recants. Basically, she dismisses her lawsuit voluntarily, and then she just disappears. I'm not saying she's dead. I'm just saying she just disappeared she never talked about it again.
Right, but if people are going to come out of the woodwork to try and slander someone, look at Kavanaugh. You had a woman come out and say that she remembers being at a party that Kavanaugh existed at one point, but nobody was able to put them in the same room at the same time.
That was also a 26-year-old allegation.
Right, but that's what this Epstein one was like a 2003.
2003 so 13 years is a little different than 26.
I will ask, when would you expect a 13-year-old child who went through something, like if say we say it's real, when would you expect them to be able to emotionally and everything come forward and talk about that?
Every child is different, and they can come forward at any time, but the likelihood that this now adult was coming forward with an allegation like that and then recants, you're not going to be able to do anything to change the system by pulling it back, if death threats or not.
But what does that even mean, bro? Well, hold on a minute. I got to pause you there because you said something really crazy. You have a 13-year-old girl, and she's wanting to come forward.
Currently 13.
I know, but she was 13 at the time.
Yes.
13-year-olds. Could I just give you my opinion on 13-year-olds? They're dumb, and they're not ready for the bad things that men or adults are going to do to them.
Sure.
And so you have this 13-year-old, and then she comes forward. Now, I know that Republicans are going to say that it's suspicious timing because it was she wanted to come forward around the time of the 2016 vote, the election. That's when it came out, right? But then she gets death threats and she recants and just disappears.
Right.
I feel like there's probably more. Okay. I don't have, look, if those are the facts, and you got this 13-year-old girl, she's grown up her whole life, and all of a sudden one of her abusers is running for president, and she wants to come forward and she's getting death threats. That's not usually the kind of person that's just going to lay down for nothing without a payday. And there's no evidence of that. It was just a straight up dismissal. There was no NDA. There was no settlement. It was a dismissal.
That's the thing, though, with Trump. If something like that is going to go on, i.e. Stormy Daniels or the like, then he's going to pay for their silence.
Do you think all those underage girls at those parties, for the people who were there and people you believe did do that, do you think they made all those people sign NDAs? Because there were other famous people there, right?
I don't know, but I'm going to say while Trump was implicated in that one instance, that does not show that he actually went, because it wasn't able to go into it wasn't able to flesh out in the lawsuit. But then also there is a case recently, Ricada talked about it, about a 18-year-old who came out about the trauma that he experienced as a 14-year-old from a kindergarten teacher that was taking him to like sports practices and whatnot. And they had numerous interludes, and she got arrested. And he came forward only after being able to fully process what was going on with his trauma.
And I'll say too, when I was 17, I had a teacher who did something inappropriate with me. And at the time, I didn't realize how inappropriate it was, but I knew that it made me feel really uncomfortable what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And the older I got, the more I was like, yeah, that's fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
And he never should have done that. I didn't say anything until I found out that he went from art teacher to superintendent of my high school. And
Right.
so then I still didn't even name him by name because my parents still live where I grew up, and it's a small town, and I didn't want anything to happen to them or people to get upset and like contact my parents about it. So I posted about it online without naming him. And the only reason I ever said anything about it, my parents didn't even know before that, was because I was like, he's going to be having like kids in his office alone now. He's going to have like, I don't know. Am I the only person he did that to? Probably not. My thought is probably not. And then I felt guilt, like I probably should have spoken up sooner. Right, because what if there are other people he did do that to?
any number of victim guilt that you can feel for that.
Bro, I can tell you as a 31-year-old law student that, no, I don't even want to say it because it's like, but I feel like there was like, you know what? I'm not even going to. I'm just saying that, look, there is a situation when there are people that are in positions of power that you perceive them to be in power, that it causes you to just not say those things that may or may not have happened. And so for a 13-year-old child, I got a 19-year-old. I remember her when she was 13. And she was, you know, I mean, it was difficult for her to talk about like her negative emotions about like school. And so imagine that you have something where you got like, you're on this island and Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump are there and all these billionaires or whatever. And then she gets raped in a really humiliating way that she can't even comprehend because she doesn't even have the age on her to experience like a loving relationship, romantic relationship, or like to know how adults process things. Like her first introduction to that is like these thick ass old men that are violating her. What are you going to say to that? Like, imagine it was you. Like, seriously, imagine it was you because they like boyish looking girls. Imagine you were 13 years old and just feminine enough looking to qualify for what was it? It was what was the word? What was the anagram?
Oh boy.
The letters. What was the letters, Brad? I know you know.
The emblem?
No. Today, the New York Times came out.
It was in Omar's video. We should just, Omar, you have a video. People should watch it. We should do FLAD.
I just wanted to just say the reason I brought up my situation was that it took this person being recognized, getting this promotion, that it triggered me enough to be like, I haven't said no. When is the right time, right? Like I hadn't said it yet. And now he's going to be, like I said, in this position where people are looking up to him. He's going to be highly respected. He's going to be able to have students alone in his classroom. I need to say something. Like, I just have to say something. So maybe it could be the same for this person where like, maybe they wouldn't have been triggered enough to like bring it up with anything else Donald Trump did. But for him to be president of the United States, maybe that was enough of a trigger to make her speak up.
Yeah.
Or stand down.
Right. Well, especially after those threats. Hey, I emailed you. Will you do this one first?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me check what you sent me.
But Chad, Omar and I are due for a political stream, so
we really are. We've been due for a political stream for a long time.
So once he schedules that, keep an eye out.
Yeah, the problem with that is I almost don't want to do it live because every time we do it live, like everybody just shits on Brad. And so I want to do like a recorded video, but then like the landscapes keeps changing. And so anyway, we'll figure out how we're going to do that. All right. This is a submission that was sent to me by the Schnitzel. So somebody, I'm assuming, sent this to her.
Will you read the name? They said it's okay.
Can you share the screen or no?
The title, yes. No, I'm going to put this in a Word document, obviously.
There we go.
Yeah, I do not want to accidentally share anything with anyone. New link. Okay. Already got that.
Just make sure you grab the name so they can know it's being read.
Is the name in the post?
The title, I think. Like the subject, email subject.
I got the title. Share screen, window, this. Wow. All right.
Wait, I get the name from the email title. Sorry.
Oh, well, the title is X wants to reduce child support because she had a new baby. Is that legit? What do you mean? X wants to reduce child support because she had a new baby. That doesn't compute. I am a 36-year-old male.
Will you please read the name from the email?
Oh, from the email? Okay, the email is, let me go back to my email.
Sorry.
I don't have a name. I don't have a name.
In the email subject?
No, there's no subject in your email.
Are you sure?
Then
you read it.
Post from Haywood Jablomi.
You really? A 16-year-old joke? That's why you wanted to read it?
That was a lot of work to troll.
I know.
But, I'm here for it.
It worked. It worked. Oh, the Simpsons, circa 1991. Oh, boy.
Well, wait, is this a real letter then, or no? What's going on?
Yeah, it's real. But it's not from Haywood Jablomi.
The name is not really Haywood Jablomi.
With a name like that,
you got it right away.
No pinnacle of sincerity, in my opinion.
Bitch is running wild, man.
Oh, all right. All right. So I am a 36-year-old male. I've been divorced from my ex-wife who's 35 for about 3 years. We have a 10-year-old son together, and I've been paying court-ordered child support regularly without issue. A few months ago, she got remarried and just had a baby with her new husband, and now she's telling me she plans to go back to court to request a reduction in her share of financial responsibility. Oh, she wants to reduce hers. Wait a minute.
She wants him to pay more because she's got a new baby coming in.
Court-ordered child support, and now she's telling me she plans to go back to court to request a reduction in his support?
No, so they're like 50-50, and so they're sharing equally, but now she wants to pay less so that he can pay more because...
But he's been paying support. So is it just that she's sharing in the medical expenses or something? A few months ago, she got remarried, just had a baby. Now she's telling me she plans to go back to court to request a reduction in her share. Based on this, the only share of her responsibilities would literally be the unreimbursed medical cost from health insurance or something. I don't know what their order is. I guess I'm confused a little bit. Essentially saying I should pay more because she has a new baby and can't afford 2 kids on her income. Well, then his problems are solved because the law knows how to deal with situations like this. I'm honestly stunned. I've made every payment on time. I'm involved with my son. I didn't think someone could just shift financial responsibility, and they can. The answer to this is they can. Nestle, do you know what state this is in?
No.
Okay. Let's just assume it was in California. In California, similar to, I think, to a lot of other states, they have what's called guideline support. And guideline support means they will take your share with the child. In this case, it's 50-50. They will take the respective incomes of the two parties, and usually dad is here and mom is here. And they will put it through a calculation that has been legislated, and they will come out with a support number. And that support number will be independent of extracurriculars and health care costs. And what the judge will normally say is, dad is going to pay this much per month, and the parties will share in the unreimbursed health care costs, or child care costs, or dental costs, extracurricular costs, et cetera, et cetera. And so it sounds like the only way this makes sense is if she just doesn't want to pay that anymore.
Or maybe they want to change the calculation because they're adding another child on one end so that she thinks that reduces her liability.
It really doesn't. He's not responsible for her kids. That's her deal. He's responsible for his kid.
She wants a recomputation, so he has to pay more.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. In California, that would be considered a hardship that you have other children, but it's exclusive to the person that's paying child support. That would be a thing that would be a discount to dad. If he had extra children, he would get a reduction in his support cost just a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be anything to write home about, but it's going to be a reduction. So she literally, it sounds like to me, just doesn't want to pay whatever she's supposed to reimburse him for, half and half. And so his question is,
because none of that's
I'm
in
honestly
here.
stunned. You know what? I've come to find out that nobody really understands how child support works.
Yeah.
And I feel like they learn from it, like they learn about child support from cases like Tyrese, who's been paying like $26,000 a month for like years, and he's not making that kind of money anymore. And he's out here crying on podcasts, and they hear about those cases. But the reality of it is that, look, most people, most normal people, like dad will be making 100 grand, mom is making 30 grand because she works part-time, because she raised the children, right? And even when she works full-time, she sacrificed her career earning prospects because she wanted to stay home and raise the child. And so she's always going to be like this office manager type, secretary type, having these menial jobs that pay like $25 an hour or less, while he's over here enjoying a career that he's been cultivating since he was 22 years old, getting all of these advancements, getting all of these promotions, and expanding his earning capacity while she just sits there at like basically minimum wage. And so we have formulas to figure out what guideline support would be. But one of the throwaway orders to guideline support is that we got to figure out what to do with medical cost. And in America, or in California specifically, that what that really means is unreimbursed medical cost, meaning costs that weren't covered by your insurance company. You split those half and half. So the only way this post to me makes sense is if that's what she's trying to do. But let me continue reading. I'm stunned. I've made every payment on time. I'm involved with my son. I didn't think someone could just shift financial responsibility for their first kid because they had another one. They cannot, is my answer to that. That's not a thing. He is not responsible for her kids. Is this something that actually holds up in court? Can having a second child reduce her share of responsibility for our court? My answer to that is, to the extent that she's paying him anything, maybe. But that's usually reserved for the payor of child support. Am I making sense? Are you guys following?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing is she's remarried, so any alimony that she would have been receiving would no longer apply.
That's not necessarily true. Oh, well, I mean, to the extent that she got an alimony order that says that she's going to get alimony until she either remarries or passes away. Maybe then. Yeah, you're right. He shouldn't be paying alimony, but child support in California, at least, is not something that you could just contract away. You don't just hand wave away your financial obligations to your children. And so I guess I would probably need to see the order to give a proper analysis of what in the hell he's talking about. He says, for what it's worth, her new husband makes decent money. They just bought a new SUV, had a destination wedding. Doesn't really seem like she's drowning financially. That's hardly the calculation, though, because her new husband is not financially responsible for that child. That's still him. Just like he's not responsible for her extra children. That's just how it works. Any legal folks or people who would have been through something similar, what am I looking at here? I don't know what you're looking at because I don't see the order. And what he's written here doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, if I'm being honest.
Hired attorney.
Yeah. He
Damn
should
Haywood.
Yeah. Fucking Haywood, you blow me. God damn it. Consult with an attorney in your jurisdiction for a proper analysis, because what you wrote was insufficient. Thanks for that, Schnitzel.
And talking about a new SUV and a destination wedding, people in poor and good financial situations can make dumb financial decisions. So just because they bought a new SUV and had a destination wedding does not mean that they are in good or bad situations.
Coincidentally,
these anecdotes are irrelevant to the law, right?
Yeah, no, everything, honestly, like 90% of what it is read is irrelevant to the law. And so if I was actually doing an analysis, I would need to see what she's been ordered to pay. It doesn't make sense she's paying anything if he's paying child support. The only way that makes sense is if she's paying for extracurriculars, medical costs, dental cost, or whatever. She's just trying to get rid of that specific petition. But I've never seen anybody petition the court to change that order, ever. And so it's just it's a fishy, it's something ain't right about that submission. I'm going to move on. Let me stop sharing that. And I'm going to move on to this. Brad is going to love this one. Yeah. This is an 8-year relationship falling apart. Person is lost, lonely, and was seeking advice. Throwaway for privacy. I am a 40-year-old male. I've been with my partner for almost 8 years. Her family is amazing, conservative, close-knit, and they've become my only family since mine is scattered or gone. But our relationship is crumbling. She's incredible. She's funny, creative, thoughtful, the kind of person everyone loves. For years, she lifted me, cared for my happiness, never wavered in loyalty, no cheating, shady behavior. But she struggled too, self-love issues, past depression, a contentious relationship with her family. They're kind to me, but with her, it's complicated. When stressed, she snaps. Anger issues, emotional regulation is rough. I've seen her grow, but it's still there, the breaking point. Last year, she caught me micro-cheating, flirty texts, saving pics of an acquaintance, and a porn addiction. Spent $2,000 over 4 years. Schnitzel, how in the hell do you spend $2,000 on porn?
OnlyFans, buying photos and videos.
How do you even know that, Brad?
Because I've heard of it anecdotally.
I've heard of it. I got this buddy over in
that's 500 a year. 500 a year. Wow.
Oh, I was trying not to. Anyway, $2,000 on porn, isn't it free?
It's mostly free. That's the funny part.
Well, it's interesting that he calls it porn instead of OnlyFans. Like, if it were person, like if it were people on OnlyFans.
All right, so he's sending flirty texts. He's saving pictures of an acquaintance. I guess she sent him flirty pics. There's a porn addiction that he spent $500 a year.
Maybe she was just like sweatily mowing her lawn.
Maybe that's what.
Maybe
that's like a what would you call that? A fetish?
Wait, who's sweatily mowing their lawn? What?
I'm just saying instead of a flirty picture, maybe it's flirty text and then like
paying the neighborhood girl to mow in a bikini or something stupid.
Maybe that's what he's into because he does a lot of yard work, and so
that costs $500 a year.
Apparently,
maybe there's only
cheaper than the guy I pay. So,
who's the guy that you pay, Brad?
To mow his lawn.
He's only in a Speedo, but it's still $120 a month.
You should shop around.
That guy. Yeah, I used to have a gardener until I manned up. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do my own yard.
The Speedo is like the Grinch's heart. 3 sizes too small.
Exactly.
As it should be.
If you live in America, is there any acceptable use for a Speedo?
No.
Like, is that attractive for women? No. Regardless who wears it.
No.
Well, it's good for your lawn mowing business, I guess.
I think the only place where it's probably acceptable is watching the what are those guys on
the wrestlers?
No, not the wrestlers.
Do you watch the wrestlers, Brad?
My wife is very big into wrestling, but no, the guys in ties and no shirts.
Chippendales?
Chippendales. There you go. Yes. That's probably the only acceptable reason for it.
I think we glossed over how Brad's wife wants him to dress up like a WWE.
I did not.
Andre the Giant.
I think
start wearing my singlet.
This is the more interesting part of this.
Are you the big boss man, Brad?
Yeah.
I'm the ultimate motherfucking warrior. How about
Texas on that bed?
Oh. That was not what I intended to press. Never mind.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so 4,000 or 2,000 a year. 2,000 over 4 years of porn. Never physically cheated. Was desperate for intimacy. We barely had sex once every 2 months, if lucky. I was depressed, anxious. My libido was out of control. I came clean, repaid the money, tried to change, but quitting porn is harder than I thought, and I've slipped since. How old is the guy? 40 years old. Oh, Jesus.
40.
The fix.
Repaid it to who? What?
Yeah.
Who did he repay?
Taking marital funds, saying I spent it over here, and I'm going to re-spend it in the marriage, which is really stupid.
What? I don't get it. That's weird.
Could I just go and say that if you're paying for porn, you're kind of dumb?
Or he put it on a credit card that she doesn't know about, so he had to pay it off.
Well, then why was she? Never
I
mind.
guess.
You know what? We're going too deep in the weeds with this one. He's emotionally
bad communication, and they need to go to therapy. There, all of FLAD.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Drained our savings to take a very long trip. No work, just travel and family time. On paper, it's great. I'm healthier. I lost weight. There's less stress. But emotionally, I'm drowning. We're constantly around her family, sharing rooms, zero privacy or intimacy. I'm the perfect husband on paper, helping with kids, chores, trips, but I feel like a robot, useful, then left charging in the corner. She wants to extend the trip. We still have savings. But I'm miserable. Every small conflict blows up. She's dismissive, gaslights me. We can't even argue properly because we're never alone. Worse, she controls all of our money. After a fight, she once emptied our shared account into one only she can access, leaving me stranded abroad. She admits it was wrong, but I still don't have access. What the fuck is this guy putting up with? What is going on?
That's
very strange.
My visa here expires soon. I leave in 30 days. She suggested I go alone while she stays. But last time we separated, she nearly ended things. She doesn't trust me, which is fair. And I'm not 100% clean. Still struggle with porn. If we split, I have nothing. No savings, no home, no family nearby. Former boss offered a loan if I needed to restart. But I love her. The woman who made me feel whole. I love her family. They're all I have. But I'm lonely, touch-starved, walking on eggshells. She's happier now, but I'm not. Do I keep trying or walk away and reset again at 40? Oh, boy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Where to even begin? Can a relationship survive when both people are broken in different ways? Yeah, it can. Is financial control a red flag? Yes. Matter of fact, not only is financial control a red flag, it is, in the state of California, a form of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I had an ex who asked me to quit all of my work so that I could be at home when he got home from work and cook and, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It wasn't a choice or what?
Well, I mean, I had a choice, but it was an abusive relationship. So like in those situations, the more you speak up, the more issues it's going to cause. And so a lot of the time you're just trying to keep the peace.
You didn't feel comfortable saying no, that you still wanted to keep working.
Exactly. I mean, I think I shared like, oh, it would be nice to have my own money, kind of stuff, like more like that, instead of standing and saying, no, I'm not gonna, I want to keep doing this. It was just like, oh, it would be nice if I could like, oh, no, don't worry. I have you taken care of. And then
but they're not going to take the hint. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then you get in one of these big arguments and he's like, I pay for everything. And you're like, well, yeah, because you don't let me work.
Yeah.
That's your fault, bitch. 100%. It's a form of psychological control to control the finances without having his input on the matter. He asked, has anyone rebuilt from zero this late in life after losing their entire support system? Yeah. Much later than you, honestly.
I would argue millions of people have done that very same thing. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun, but it is possible. But you both need to go to counseling and figure out what the heck is going on in your relationship, because lack of intimacy is a problem. The holding of finances over your head is a problem, and you need to get it straightened out between the both of you. Because one, your porn addiction isn't helping anything because it's only causing her to have something to hold against you. But you need to help work to get the relationship fixed so that you can have a successful and intimate relationship. But if the domestic violence and finances is too much of an issue, then it is worthwhile to separate and figure out what needs to happen.
I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that she's probably also engaged in flirty texts with other individuals. She's probably also saved pictures of acquaintances, and she probably, although she might not have a porn addiction, I'm willing to go out on a limb and say that she has dabbled in actual affairs at some point.
Dabbled in the CEO at a Coldplay concert.
We don't know any of that.
Well, I mean, his hands were on her vagina, Bruce. It's pretty hard to. It's pretty hard.
No, Bruce is talking about in this scenario on Reddit.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
yeah, you're speculating about this guy's wife.
Oh no, I totally am. No, I don't know this information.
We haven't seen them on the Jumbotron yet.
No.
Well, no, we certainly haven't. But for a woman to completely separate from her relationship and not recognize that intimacy is an important piece of the relationship. Now, it's you're both fault for going on a very long vacation and vacationing with your family too and not getting anything. That's your own fault, and you shouldn't have done that. I will completely say that.
I need all their money to do that.
Because
never go on a vacation with in-laws.
Because my wife loves cruising, loves it to death. And there's been times when she's like, my family wants to go on this cruise and they've invited us along. And I'm no. We've been before and it's been good, but we have to have our own rooms.
Now look, own rooms would be like a mandatory, right? But like I mean, if it's a special occasion, but no, I'm not gonna hang out and like spend vacation money to go hang out with your family when we could like do some other thing and make it like a magical, romantic, whatever kind of vacation. We could do that.
Got an Airbnb for a month and invited the whole family to stay with them, and
that would be a nightmare. Bruce, would you put up with that? Your significant other says, "Hey, let's go on a month-long Airbnb cruise with her family, and we're going to be
not
sharing
sound
rooms."
Good. No, I mean, I've gone on a cruise, but we had our own room
for a month. Fuck
no. For like a week.
And they said the
month is too long.
Even more.
Yeah.
Like
also, they're not even. They're in a different country because this guy's visa's expiring or whatever.
Right, and I don't got the details on that.
How's his visa expiring, but not theirs? That's the because if you both got vacation visas and they're both going to expire at the same time, why isn't theirs?
Because he is the immigrant in this scenario, I'd imagine. They don't need immigrants. They're citizens of whatever country they're talking about. It sounds like America. Sounds like this guy has bigger problems with his current administration. Don't let them catch him.
I'm not going to do that.
All right. Well, I'm just saying. It sounds like that's the visa aspect of it all, the financial aspect of it all. He's around her family aspect of it all. She's in complete control of the context of this relationship. And he's basically at her mercy. There's nothing in this for him. Like, what benefit is he getting out of this? He's not even getting intimacy from his partner. He's not even able to have an intimate argument with his partner because they don't have any privacy. That's no way to have a relationship.
Do they have any kids?
I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, the micro cheating thing, whatever that. Flirty text, who gives a shit?
I think he's caught up in the sunk cost fallacy. He's like, hey, I've been in this relationship for a while and we're comfortable in certain ways. And he doesn't want to lose all that when there's obvious problems here.
Explain the sunk cost fallacy more, because I think you're right.
So, for example, if you have a business and you have to solve a problem and you throw some money at it, but the solutions to your problem aren't working for your business, and you can either completely change your business or get out of the business or whatever, but you don't want to because you've already invested a bunch of money, even though what you invested really didn't work completely. So you're hesitant to make a change in direction in your decision making because of the resources you already spent. The reason it's a fallacy is those resources are gone. You can never get them back. They're already done. So you need to make a decision based on the current state of the situation, not what you put in the past, because you're not getting anything out of that.
For somebody who's not a CEO of a company, an easier scenario would be like you're at the blackjack table and you went on this nice run and you're up, $200-300, and then you start losing really bad. And one of my guys who I know in Vegas is like, well, then you just double down, because if you double down and continue and win, then you'll earn all your money back. And he's like, no, that's not how that works, because the math might eventually work, but your ability to be able to double down indefinitely to try and hopefully get that money back just doesn't work.
You'll win faster or you'll lose faster. One of the two. One of the two. And if you're not that great at counting cards, you don't even know when to double down. So how about that? Anyway, the point here is it feels like he's in an abusive relationship with this lady. It feels like she's not. I know I'm speculating because I don't have all the information. I'm just saying it feels like he really likes her and she's like whatever about him. I'm willing to speculate that she probably has a side piece. And the fact that he's like owning up over these like minor discretions, like he has a porn addiction. He sent flirty texts with somebody once, and he's still there. Either she's like lording that over him and she's doing something similar herself, but probably much worse, or something else is going on. Either way, I don't see any scenario where they can revive their relationship because she's controlling the entire context of everything. How are they going to fix anything around her family the entire time? How are they going to fix anything when she's in complete control of the finances? That doesn't make him a partner. That makes him an indentured servant. And so if he was a female, I would tell her, yeah, she's got to get out of there as quickly as she can. I don't see why the analysis would be different for him. What do you guys think about that?
The analysis is the same regardless of what the gender of the person telling the story is.
Yeah. Agreed.
The facts are the facts, and it's an abusive relationship, and they need counseling or he needs to separate.
By the way, Snow Wonder with $5 says, hi, Omar. I hope you're doing well. Not FLAD related question. Do you have any recommendations for an employee side employment attorney, like to file a labor complaint? I do. You know what? Shoot me a DM. I think I need more details, but I think I know where to direct you on where to go with that. And Angela Rock with the $3 super sticker. Thank you, young lady. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think that this guy's in a bad situation. And the longer that it goes on, I think that the worse it's going to go for him. I think that he probably is more in love with her than she is with him. I think to her, he's more or less an afterthought, more or less an annoyance, more or less a liability. And she's trying to find a way out. And like this context in which she's creating or perpetrating this relationship is really her attempting to try to make this relationship palatable for her, but she can't because she's sickened by this guy for whatever reason. Maybe it's because he had like an emotional affair with somebody. Maybe it's because of his porn addiction. Maybe it's because a lot of things, but she at some point checked out and she's trying. It's not working out. Look, if he's in his 40s, he ain't getting any younger. He's going to wake up tomorrow and be 60 years old. Get out now. Let's do it now. 8 years. 8 years. I just divorced somebody the other day that's been married for 28 years. And they're trying to re-enter single life like at 58 years old. Scary thing to contemplate, but that's the reality of it. And she's so excited, she's so happy. And part of it was because she's lived under this rain cloud, this storm cloud of bullshit, framed inside of the context of a man that was psychologically abusive to her. And now she's free of those burdens. And the weight that has been lifted off of her is enormous. And she's ready to begin life. But she's 58. You, sir, are in your 40s. So do it now. Or I guess stick around, and you only got so much time on this earth, man. You don't deserve to have to stick around to figure out whether or not this is going to turn or not. If it ain't working out for you now, it seems like it's been enough time. It ain't going to work out. You got to make the call and stop being a little pussy about it. You got to grow, pair, and make a decision. You're either going to go all in on her, or you're going to go all in on the other way. And if it's the other way, then good for you. And if it's on all in on her, then hey, good luck with that, I guess. I'm not very optimistic. Just, I guess, check back in with me in a year. How about that? That's my analysis. Y'all have anything to add to this?
You need to stop the porn while you're trying to fix your relationship. But if the relationship's too far gone, then maybe work on yourself so that you're not going to porn.
Well said, Brad. In your 40s, I feel like that shouldn't really be a thing, But I also, there's a lot I'm just going to move on from this one. Let's go to the next one. The next one is a divorce lawyer gave me a piece of advice that hit hard, and I wanted to share it here. Let's see what this person had to say. But before I do that, I'm going to share it with you all. Let me add it to the screen. Here it is. His female attorneys told me, everything you tolerate during the dating phase will come back to you 10 times harsher in the marriage. Oh, it is so true. Let that sink in for a second. And if you're brushing off red flags right now and thinking, I can handle this, or they'll grow out of it, you're not doing yourself a favor. Those things won't go away, but they'll usually grow louder and more damaging with time, especially under the stress of marriage and life. Her last line was what really stayed with me. Do not marry potential. Marry what's right in front of you. I ignored this advice in my own past, and I wish I hadn't. Now I'm wondering, do you agree with this? Have you seen red flags disappear over time? Do they tend to stay or get worse? For those of you who are divorced, were there signs during dating that you overlooked? Yeah, man. As a person who's been divorced, and I got divorced after being married as a super young person. I was 22, divorced at 29. Who she was at 19, 20, 21, I overlooked those things because I was dumb, for one. For two, I was trying to, I wasn't trying to save her. I guess I was trying to make up for the sins of my father, as many young men tend to say, and try to be the guy that's going to stick around through thick and thin, and all of these noble reasons to stick with and try to preserve a relationship that have nothing to do with the other person. A silly way to traverse a marriage. But 100%, if the man that you were dating has a problem with his temper, and he lashes out at you, then 100%, when he gets you behind closed doors, when he feels like he owns you because you guys are now married, it's going to get 10 times worse. I 100% agree with that. If he's got a wandering eye while y'all are dating, why in the hell would you think it's going to get any better when you all are married? If he's bad with money now, what makes you think he's going to be not bad with money later? You're betting on this idea that he's going to somehow not only acknowledge that he's got an issue. Most men and women do not. You're betting on the fact not only are they going to acknowledge that they have an issue, but they're going to somehow by some miracle, some force of prayer, understand how to fix their behavior of their own accord. Or maybe you're praying to some God that you believe in, and you believe that Jesus is going to change him. Jesus is going to put it in his heart that he needs to have less temper tantrums and be more kind and empathetic to people, to waiters and waitresses, to the valet driver. And maybe Jesus will put it in his heart that he's going to be not so sharp in his critiques of me and stop calling me these derogatory names and hurting my feelings and breaking my heart with every word. Or maybe Jesus is going to put it in his heart that he's not going to beat the shit out of you when he loses his complete shit and say, I don't know what happened. That wasn't me. I just blacked out. I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again, until 2 weeks later. And then you have the same conversation. If you sign up and if you bet on a person that they'd be absolutely perfect if they could just correct these negative things about them, then hey, I mean, I buy lottery tickets too. Maybe. And then you're going to think about what it's going to be like to spend all that money, and you're going to buy like a yacht, and you're going to travel, and you're going to be a globe trotter and travel this globe on private jets or whatever, and like invest all this money and whatever and live off the interest and do all these things. And you're going to imagine what it's going to be like. But the reality is you ain't going to fucking win. And all your bills are going to still be there. And all your financial struggles are going to still be there. And the grind is going to still be there. And you're still going to be you. And the only thing that you gained was the passage of time and wandering around and your wayward fantasies that aren't going to come true. And so too is it, I feel like, if you are ignoring the red flags in an individual, man or woman, that you're dating. You marry what's right in front of you. They're either a finished product or they're not. If they're not a finished product, then fuck, don't marry them. Date them. Break up with them. Like, what are you trying to fix here? You are not responsible for who they are as people. You're not responsible for their moral compass. You're not responsible for their financial fortitude. They are the main character in their own movie. You are the main character in yours. And there's a conflict of interest there, isn't it? If you meet the finished product and you guys are mutually aligned, then great, marry them. And if you don't have that, then don't. But too many people, they decide to get married because, oh, the clock is ticking. I'm in my late 20s. If it's either now or never. No, it ain't, man. You got like another 20 years, if you wanted to, of exploring people as you're an older person, traversing a line of potential mates that are finished products. You'll have more information going forward. There is nothing better than getting married in your 30s or your 40s. There's no mystery there. And that's a good thing. You marry somebody at 22, you have no idea what they're going to be at 30. You marry somebody at 35, they're pretty much going to be that for until they die. Science or something I heard about developing brains being finished at 27, you know? What do y'all have to say about that?
I think it's more of an inertia thing. The person that you're going to be at 35 is highly likely going to be the person that you're going to be later on in life.
That's what I said. Oh, I should get Angela Rock's super sticker off. I apologize for leaving her up there. I hope she wasn't embarrassed.
It's okay. I mean, you didn't need to see my face.
Yeah. What do you think about all of that, Schnitzel? You don't have to have any thoughts at all.
No, I think generally the person you are at 35, 40 is going to be the basic person you are as you get older. I think people can grow in different ways, but like the core of who you are is probably going to stay the same unless you have something like catastrophic happen to your life.
Yeah. I don't know, Bruce. What do you think about all of that?
I agree with everything you said. I think the problem's a little bit like we're sort of tilting at windmills because we're giving this advice from, we've already been there. We've been through it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm one of the older people here. So we've been there, done that. We have the advice. we can make these we see these same themes come up every week in FLAD. I think the problem is that when people are young and they're going through these things, they just have to go through them. Like, you can't talk them. You can't talk a 18-year-old into behaving like a 30-year-old until they want to hear it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna. What can you do? Unless, I mean, if you're a parent, obviously you can parent a kid until they're 18 or whatever. But, all you can do is you can cross your fingers and hope somebody takes your advice. But I think a lot of times when you're in the situation, you're looking at the trees, right? You can't see the forest for the trees. So a lot of this type of Monday morning quarterback advice, I don't know who it's going to help. I mean, it might.
Well, it would have been good advice for me to hear when I was 22 years old. You know what I mean? It would have been good advice to hear when I was 30 years old. And
do you think 22-year-old you would have really listened, or
to the right person? Yeah. To the wrong person, no.
I think
the right person have been. I don't know.
Parenting doesn't stop at 18. Just because they're not under your thumb does not mean that your relationship with them should stop and your ability to be able to speak things into their life stops. My father, I was terrible with my finances. And I went to my dad and I said, "Hey, Dad, I need some help with my finances." And he goes, "I can't do that because this is something that you have to dig yourself out of." And that was some of the best advice that he gave me, even though it didn't help me directly in the situation. Forcing me to dig myself out of the own problems that I created was the help that I needed.
No, he gave you a fishing pole. You had plenty of fish, but he gave you a fishing pole. Now you're out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have a responsibility as parents to do that kind of thing. But yeah, is it Monday morning quarterbacking? Yeah, but look, imagine all the good advice that you heard when you were young. Some of it you heeded, and some of it you didn't. And it doesn't matter if you do or if you don't, but that would be my advice. And I think that the advice that whoever this person is that they received is a good one. And so I'm going to move on.
Yeah. And I think it's easier now because we have all this. You can go Google things, right? You can watch this show.
Yeah.
When I was 18 or whatever, it's like none of these resources existed to get somebody else's independent perspective on things, right?
If you needed any information, you had to physically go to the library to be able to find a book that somebody wrote 40 years ago and hope that it still applied today. Now you can literally go
read a magazine or something
from your phone and get instant information from someone who posted it across the world seconds ago. The access to information is wild compared to what it was even just 10, 15 years ago.
Let me tell you how valuable the Sports Illustrated issue was, the swimsuit issue, back when I was like 13 years old.
Sears catalog, man.
There's oh boy. All right. Moving on. People who jump straight to leave them when giving relationship advice. Oh, that sounds like me. Let's see what this person has to say. So I went out with my wife and her friends last night. And one of her friends started talking about the guy she just started dating. They've only been on like 4 dates. And she was complaining about totally normal, common early relationship things like how he takes a long time to text her back. Is that even a red flag if somebody takes a long time to text you back? What do you guys think?
No, the red flag is when he's waiting by his phone for you to text him, because then it shows that he doesn't have a life outside of you. Because that was me.
What do you say about this, Schnitzel?
I'm just rereading this really quick before I... So wait, what? They went on a date and he didn't text right away?
Yeah, I guess one of the red flags is he takes a long time to text her back. Is that even a red flag?
But they're just starting dating?
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out long time is qualitative, not quantitative. Right. And qualitative is a good way to have a misunderstanding with someone.
Yes.
So, Omar, if I tell you I need you to do something soon, what does that mean to you?
Well,
today
a wife means
or tomorrow.
exactly right now. Get
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Does it
Whatever
mean the
you're
next 5 minutes, the next 5 hours, the next day,
You
the next 5
you
days,
take the
5
trash
weeks?
out. It's an immediate order.
When
like
you
when
get a
you take
chance
when
and
you
you
get
take
a
out the
minute,
trash,
can you
that
take
means
the
like
trash
right
out?
fucking yep.
It means do it right now.
Right.
But it's
No, I
qualitative.
think I mean, when I was younger, I would if I were excited about a date, I would sit there and like wait for them to write back, and then I'd get in my own head like, "Oh my god, like and they're not writing right away, like why aren't they?" Basically, it's like why aren't they as excited to talk to me? And
Mhm.
it's not even about that sometimes. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. Like you guys said, sometimes they just have a life or they're working. I mean, that's part of life, right? Like they're doing something else and it's not meant as any slight towards you or to represent like their interest in you. Um, but I think also you gotta say, like, maybe tell them how you feel and like tell them what you would like or what you appreciate, how often you appreciate talking, or talk with them and get more information. Like, do they work like odd hours and they were at work, or maybe they were seeing their family, or just give them the benefit of the doubt and see how things play out.
Yeah.
I'm going to channel my inner Bruce here because just because you're dating does not mean one, that you're exclusive, and two, that you're in the same spot in your dating careers. While you might be eager to jump into an exclusive relationship, he may not be there yet. He might just be like, hey, I've dated this girl 4 times and it's great.
Well, there's other things. It's not just about the texting thing. She was complaining about how he canceled on a date at the last second. All her friends jumped straight to, oh, you can do so much better. Leave him. He's not right for you, etc. What I would say is this. I'll say this. I can only reference my own dating experience. If I ever canceled at the last minute with anybody, there's never been an emergency enough where I would just cancel my plans. Not to say that wasn't a possibility. I'm just saying, if I canceled with you, it's because I didn't want to go on a date with you. 100%. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I didn't like you that much.
What if you
Maybe
broke your leg in a swimming competition? You had to go to the emergency room.
If I liked the girl enough, I would have bought myself a cane and hobbled my ass along for the date and went to the hospital afterwards.
Damn. What?
I
You
mean,
don't
it
think
would've
going
been
to the emergency room is a reasonable reason for canceling a date?
Oh, I just, it takes me a lot to go to the doctors. I will live in pain until it's absolutely overbearingly, excruciatingly
Let's say
awful.
at the knee, the bone is just sticking out of your leg and you can
Well, that's
see the
kind of an
white
obvious
bone.
right. So if
It's
that's
a
not
It's
like
a
if I
Jeff
could,
Foxworthy joke. The guy saws his own leg off. He says, "Throw it in the cooler and hand me a beer." Like,
Oh boy.
I'm just
But no.
saying, if I like the girl enough, it would take a lot for me to cancel. Is the point? Like, I'm not canceling because I'm tired. I'm not canceling because I had other plans. I'm not canceling because of anything other than catastrophic injury.
The point is, if you did cancel, you would explain why, right? Like, I'm in the emergency room, having my leg reattached.
Yeah, but I also once ended a date because I didn't like the girl. And she was getting a little bit handsy with me. Now, look, I was in high school, so don't judge me too harshly. It was like the Sadie's
I'm judging you hard, Omar.
That's the one where like the girl asked you out on a date, right? And so like she was my friend. She's like my best girlfriend. Like just she, I wasn't attracted to her at all. Like I liked her the way that I like Lauren Knighty, for example. How about that? But then when we got to the dance, it was like she wanted to do all this extra stuff. And I was feeling really uncomfortable.
Do all this sextra stuff.
Exactly.
You went to the dance?
I went to the dance with her because I told her I would go.
Last chance for romance.
He went to regular dancing. He didn't go salsa dancing with her.
No, it was like
you guys
Sadie
weren't just hanging out, going to Denny's or something for coffee. You went to the school dance.
What I felt like, in my opinion,
context.
I know, but that was the context I viewed it in. She viewed it as something more amorous, and so I fake paged myself with my Motorola pager.
Oh boy.
It was like ice blue or something, and you could see through the internals.
Oh yeah.
And so I paged myself. Oh my God, I got to page 911.
Sky pager.
My family member is sick. They're in the hospital. I got to leave right now. And then I made her call her dad on a payphone. And like he came to pick us up like early, like we'd only been like an hour, but like I cut it short that day. I feel shitty about it to this day. It's like one of my major regrets in life is I shouldn't have done that, man. But I did. And the point being, I don't even know why I even told that story, but the point is, if
you go to the emergency room legitimately, that's a decent reason as long as you communicate it. If you 100%. Say you're going to the emergency room illicitly and you're not really doing it, you're being disingenuous, and you should tell the truth instead.
Like if a guy cancels because, I don't know, it's just so busy at work. Like hell it is. Give me a break. If he wanted to leave work, he'd leave. I just got so much to catch up on. Bullshit. He don't like you that much. That's what it is. I really go out with you, but I really got to mow the lawn. Shit. Come on, man.
If you're excited about someone and they're a priority to you, you're going to go out of your way to talk to them.
Yes, you will. And that's only happened a couple of times with me in my life. And so when they are saying that this is a red flag, I don't necessarily disagree with them.
I don't know if it's a red flag. It's just stating kind of what her importance is.
Exactly.
You don't try how important she is or a relationship is or whatever. Like Bruce was saying, like I think you said something. I don't know. You might be at different points in like how you're viewing a relationship or what you want out of a relationship. If he's like, yeah, I'm looking to get married and I really like you, and then not communicating and canceling dates, that doesn't really line up. But if he hasn't said how serious he is or what he's looking for, then it's still kind of up in the air.
I feel like women could really feel when you're pulling back in a relationship. Like if you're not giving them attention, they feel that,
and same the other way too.
Sort of. Well, no, yeah, 100%. Yes. The point is, could his affections for her grow over time? Sure. But if he's canceling for mundane reasons, come on. That's a pretty good indicator of his interest level in her. What was the other one? All her.
Did that girl's dad drop you off at the hospital?
No, at my house. I feel like her dad knew. Her dad knew what happened.
Oh my God.
Because that has the makings of like a Seinfeld episode right there.
Yeah.
Imagine my little 15-year-old ass getting dropped off at the hospital.
It reminds me of that story. So after Laura fell off one of the horses one time and Mike Maricini's mom was there, Laura went in an ambulance and his mom was following behind in her car because she was genuinely worried about Laura. I think she was knocked out for like a minute straight. And Laura kept asking the ambulance to pull over and she did not want to go to the hospital. And she knew that Mike's mom was following. So I've always wondered, like, why didn't she want to go? Was this during I think it was after she claimed she was pregnant, but like, were they going to like say even for like the brain injury stuff for the Uber accident, which at the time is what she was claiming her seizures were from, right?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe she didn't want Mike's mom going to the hospital with her and potentially hearing that, like, she doesn't have brain damage, or being like it's already established that she has brain damage from falling off horses or whatever it was. It just felt like it. Why else would you like say like pull over on the side of the highway like multiple times so the ambulance wouldn't take you to the hospital?
Yeah, because she didn't want to like have confirmatory evidence that she's not really pregnant, probably.
Yeah.
Or she didn't really have.
Did she walk home on the side of the highway?
I think either that her parents were, or her mom was following behind too, or that she got a ride back with Mike's mom. But they did not take her to the hospital.
Oh.
Is what I've heard. Obviously I was not there, but that's what I've heard.
Continuing on with this, she says that, okay, so you could do so much better. I notice people do this all the time, especially women for some reason. And it's always bugged me. You wouldn't dump somebody immediately for little things like that. Why are you encouraging your friends to? Not actually considering issues in the context they deserve and jumping straight to leave him as being a bad friend, in my opinion. I disagree. A good friend will sometimes tell you that you need to relax and remember they're just a person too. Fuck all of that. If you're trying to... Sorry for my cup. If you're trying to decipher who is going to be your life partner, then you should be very meticulous in your evaluation of them. Everything should be a red flag. If you don't like it, it's a red flag. You don't like the way that they use their silverware when they're eating food.
You're gonna have to live with it for fucking life. The way they chew, the noises they make while they're eating their food.
Yeah.
So Omar, you agree with the writer of this post?
Yes, I think
the ladies should be more meticulous and not just make a knee-jerk reaction based on their friend's feedback.
Well, let me just give you the other side of this. Let's just say that she gives this guy all the benefits of doubt. Oh, he's just a wait. Is this a guy or a girl that we're talking about?
It's a guy.
Okay, so the guy and like it's this lady or whatever, and he's just giving her the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, maybe she's just like really rude. Maybe she's just having a bad day. That's why she's rude to the waitresses. Maybe she really dresses like that. I don't know. Maybe she didn't have any clothes to wear or something. She keeps on making excuses for every stupid thing that she does. By the time they're 7 years into a marriage, all of those little peccadillos that he had identified when they were on their first and second, third, fourth date are going to be magnified so large. It's the only thing that he's going to see. And there's not going to be any ability to move forward in a meaningful way for that you would normally attribute to a life partner. That's the danger. You settle. You set yourself up to settle when you ignore red flags or even gray flags for that matter. If you don't like the person or something that you want and you're young enough, then hey, you got the time and you got the wherewithal, pick someone else. Because there's, like Brad said, there's an opportunity cost deficit that occurs when you settle for somebody. You're missing out on all of the heavenly glory. It's like Bruce Lee said. He said, don't concentrate on the finger, lest you missed out on all of the heavenly glory. If you guys just Google that scene, Rob knows what I'm talking about. Bruce knows what I'm talking about. He might.
Wait, what? You're getting fingered now? What's happening?
No, never mind. Just Google it. Bruce Lee and the finger. Trust me. The point is, be meticulous, be discerning, be harsh, and your critiques of future mates. If you don't care to have a long-term relationship with them, then do whatever you want. But if you're trying to gauge interest in a long-term partner, you should have all the receipts. You should know everything. And if something bothers you, you should not ignore it. And if you're going to ignore it, make sure you have a really good reason for it. You know, like maybe there's like some kind of a give and take. That's for you to decide. That's your life. This is your ride. It's your life. You figure it out. How much are you willing to settle for this person that you like? And you should, by all means, be the dick. Yeah, I dumped this person because they canceled at the last second this one time. I dumped this person because took too long to text me back. Maybe you like a lot of attention. If they ain't giving you attention now, 3-4 dates in, and straight up just not responding for hours and hours and hours, and all they could have said was, hey, I'm at work, I'll text you like in 3 hours because I'm doing shit. Then yeah, imagine 15 years from now what that's going to look like. It ain't going to get better. If anything, if they're still trying to get in your pants and that's how it is, imagine once they've had it for, thousands of times, how much worse it's going to be. That is all. That's my rant.
I agree.
I think the trick is knowing where your ability to compromise ends and your boundaries begin.
Yeah, and everybody settles in a relationship. There's not going to be someone who is and does exactly what you would want them to do. So you are settling.
Compromise
but like you said,
up to a point.
Right. Mm-hmm. And what things are you okay compromising with and what aren't you?
Yes. Yes to that.
So
MCH High Life says, if men were just honest in saying, I'm just not that interested, trust the woman will be just fine rather than questioning herself. Just be honest. Yeah, the problem with that, High Life, is that most men are not going to say that because they're really not. But they're probably still trying to get in your pants anyway. And then once they do that, then they'll just ghost. Or maybe then they'll say they're not interested.
That's not what you were doing at the school dance, Omar.
No. I was doing something much more, I don't know if it was better or worse. It just was very immature of me to do. It's one of my life's regrets. Honestly, I've been thinking about that now for 30 years. Jesus, just about. I feel so sad for that. I feel so bad. I feel like I should like write that girl a letter and say, "Hey, I'm sorry I was such a dick. I didn't mean to. I was immature. I hope you had a wonderful life."
Well, this is your
Whatever.
confession booth. FLAD is your confessional.
Well, for this one it was, So but yeah, the point is, MC, yeah, why would they say that if they're still just trying to look? They might just want to try to sample the goods and then move on right along. The point is, you should know that going in, and so therefore be discerning and be very harsh in your critique of future possible mates, and know that going in, and you'll live a much happier life, probably, almost definitely. All right, I'm going to move on.
Well, Omar, one thing before that.
Sure.
I want to go off on the poster, not the friend that he's talking about. I want to know why this married guy is going out with his wife's friends to listen to them talk about their dating life. That sounds like the absolute worst thing. I can think of 1,000
Well, his
things
wife
I'd
was
rather
there
do.
too.
Yeah.
You've never gone like out to dinner with your girlfriend or wife plus some of their
Probably
single
wasn't a
friends?
choice.
No, I
It's happened.
haven't.
Well,
let me
okay.
tell you, Brad,
Outside of the Midwest, it happens. I don't know.
Yeah. I have been forced to sit there with my wife and her sisters and whoever her friends are, and oh yeah, it's just like a big menstrual Nora Jones party. Let's all just talk shit about men and talk about
here's
trash.
the deal. This guy just wanted to go out and get the fish and chips platter. And meanwhile, in order to do that, he had to listen to these ladies complain about the one girl's boyfriend or whatever. That's his situation.
Yeah, and he's got nowhere to go. He's got nowhere to. He can't just be on his phone the whole time and look like a dick. And so he's trying to be supportive. And in the midst of being supportive, he's acknowledging that this conversation is kind of ridiculous. And he says that he's fairly annoyed. And I it is what it is. And so anyway, I agree. It's not his fault, Brad, is all I'm trying to say.
What does the edit say at the bottom? I want to see the edit.
There is no edit. Oh, yeah, there isn't.
The final paragraph.
I painted the wrong picture of how she was talking about this guy. She was saying how much she liked him and how great their connection was. It was all glowing. She just brought up these two issues she had as her only complaints. And that was enough for her friends to say she should leave him. And that's why it annoyed me. In my mind, being a slow texter and rescheduling a date is not enough to dump somebody you really have a connection with. And you're being a bad friend to suggest you should immediately dump somebody at the first sign of trouble without taking everything in context. My retort to that would be, how in the hell does he know she has this great connection with this guy?
I think he's feeling some empathy and projecting because he feels like he's in this other guy's shoes who's not there. So he has to be defending the guy who's not there because he feels like he could be that guy.
I could tell you what. When I heard those red flags, I was like, oh yeah, he's not into her. That's what I was thinking. But maybe it's the case that she texted him at like at 10 in the morning and he had like this 6-hour job that he was working on. It's all chaos and craziness. And he didn't get a chance to get to his phone for 6 hours. And that's what she's freaking out about. It could 100% be that. Or the guy got is like, nah, I'll text her later. And then he just forgot about it because he was texting other people. And then, that's how it goes sometimes. And so it's either or. She should know. She has to be the one to decide, is the point. Maybe the guy had the best of intentions, sure. Or maybe not. But the point is, if he had the best of intentions at some point, it's going to self-correct, right? Because if the lady is important enough, he's going to make every effort to make sure that she understands that he is interested. And if that's not the case, then, nature will run its course and he'll be yesterday's news a couple weeks from now. And she'll move on to Chad Brockington, salsa dancer. Or whatever. That's the point. I think that's where are we in agreement with that or am I off?
Damn it, Chad.
All right. I think we're done with this one. I got 4 more to go. How long have we been going? Hour 34 minutes. All right, we might do.
Somebody decided to distract everyone with political talk at the beginning.
That was
what the heck, Omar?
He was talking about subpoenas, and then Brad wanted to talk about.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Oh,
I was talking about law, not politics.
Me and Schnitzel went in on Brad about Epstein, and then we got derailed. Anyway,
I'm here every night for that.
Yes, ma'am. Let me do Oh, this is a really long one. Should we do a long one or a short one?
Short.
Amen to that. Okay. Advice needed on marriage, money, mindset. You know what? Let's do this.
Marriage money, it's not yours. There you go.
Brad, that's why we're not going to do that one, because you already just shit on it. Who's that about? Okay. This person is 35. He's proposing to a 29-year-old female in the next month. Give me your best marriage advice. Oh, this is a fun one. Hey, has everybody on the panel been married at least once?
At least once, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
that was funny.
I'm not going to out anybody that doesn't want to be outed, but I'm pretty close to it. If not,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was trying to be a dumbass.
Yeah. So we have been together for 4 years. We went through and survived a life-threatening health issue together and made it out stronger. We want kids soon. I'm a lawyer. She's a teacher. What advice do you have for me for this next stage of life? Oh, sir.
Prenup.
I'm not going to be the dick and say prenup. I'm just going to assume that he's got good legal advice because he's a lawyer, right? 4 years, huh? So she was 25, he was 31. How would you start this conversation, Schnitzel?
Oh my God. I don't know. This is like a huge question. I feel like
this isn't very specific.
Yeah, it's very.
I mean, that's
general.
why the obvious answer is prenup, because he's just like marriage advice. Like they're going to get
he's
married.
a lawyer. I'm not going to tell him that. He knows.
Communication is my number one advice. My number one point of advice. And if you're having trouble communicating, then get therapy.
Oh, that's good.
All right, get therapy and communicate. That's a good start. What do you think, Bruce?
Omar, okay, I'm with Brad on the prenup, but here's your thing. You're like, oh well, this guy's a lawyer. He knows all about it. I've talked to like plumbers, carpenters. They go out and do plumbing all day at people's houses, right? Or whatever. But they're like, well, when I need plumbing work done at my own house, I just call another plumber because I'm so tired of doing plumbing. I'm not going to do it in my own house.
Right.
So do you really think this, just because they're a lawyer, it doesn't mean they're a family law attorney. It doesn't mean that they know the benefits.
But they did study contracts in law school, and so.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say don't assume because they're a lawyer that they're going to obviously do a prenup. That's my advice.
All right. Prenup is Bruce's advice. Brad, what do you got?
I think the one thing that you should understand about marriage is that you are starting your relationship. You know, anyone can have any kind of faults prior to marriage, but once you enter those nuptials, you are truly, ideally, devoting yourself to the betterment of the other person, and times at your expense. And continuing to recognize that and think about what will make my spouse's day better is a really good way to frame of what your mindset really should be for the rest of your life.
Do you want to talk to my husband?
Well, no. but it's that kind of mindset of trying to understand what's better for them and what you can do to make their day better. It could be something as simple as going out and buying a 4-pack of Celsius because they need some caffeine in the morning. No. And they're not buying it themselves.
Or take out the trash and recycling, even like though it's your job, like just do it. Right?
Well, I take it out weekly, Schnitzel, and every now and then I don't know to the road. I don't get any kind of hoorays, thank yous, or anything for taking it out.
I thank my husband every time I do it, every time I do it. I'm like, thanks for making me do that. No, I thank my husband every time he does it, and I do it fairly often too. But I'm not asking for the praise either. Anyway, I'm just trying to give my husband shit.
One of the things that I recommend everyone to do is to read The 5 Love Languages by Steve Chapman. It's a very good book. It's not a it's a good or a good way to explain how people receive love in different ways. And
I'm gonna one up you. Get 2 copies.
Yeah, read it.
read one copy each, highlight what really speaks to you and your copy, and make notes. And then after each chapter, switch so you can read about one another.
That's a really good idea, because one of the barriers to love is that people receive love in different ways. And if you don't know how your spouse best receives love, then you're speaking literal different languages. It'd be like if you're expecting someone to constantly give you phrases or affirmations, but they want physical touch, then you're literally passing by one another. And that kind of understanding can really impact your relationship and make it better, in my opinion.
What I would say, Brad, is that's probably some of the best advice you've given yet since you've been on FLAD. That's pretty good, man. Every now and then. Here's what I would say. I'm going to talk to this. He's a man. And so what I would say is this, that he met his wife 4 years ago. He was 31. And the thing about being 31 years old is you see women differently. Like in your 20s, your early 20s, your mid 20s. Women, they just look differently to you. They, everybody's Cinderella, everybody is Belle, everybody's Beauty and the Beast, everybody is, whatever, the Disney princess. And young men, they have stars in their eyes when they look at these young women. They expect that they're going to look like that forever and be like this perfect thing and have this idealized vision of what happily ever after is going to mean to them. But then they're going to grow withered with time. And this guy, being 35 years old, has already experienced that. He's been through law school, so he's been through some shit. And his wife is still 29 years old, but there's going to be a shift in his mentality. He's not going to see women the same that he saw them at 25. He's going to see his wife differently, and she's going to change. She's going to go from like this Disney princess to this withered princess to this tired princess to maybe this postpartum princess to maybe not a princess at all, but you somehow still have to try to make her feel like she's the Disney princess to you because you're the one that married her, and that's kind of your responsibility. And that's going to require for you to give an awful lot of grace to her as she ages and as she does the things that holds up your household, all the unsung things that go ignored because you're out doing your career as a lawyer and she's over here trying to hold up the household. There's going to be times where she's going to feel herself withering and you might not recognize it. And she's going to, maybe not even be able to tell you that. And you're not going to recognize what's going to happen. But there's going to be this resentment that builds up underneath you because you haven't paid attention. And then the next thing you're going to have like a porn addiction. And you're going to have like you're going to have intimacy issues because she's no longer interested in you because you're not paying attention to her. And there's going to be things that happen because you've let her go. Because you're so caught up in your own stuff that you fail to recognize that she is the other half. And so when that happens, that's when people find themselves in my office. It's when this reckoning happens. It's like, oh no, we've been married for 10, 12 years. And then he's just changed. We don't even talk anymore. And we have all these money problems. And I feel like they're hiding money from me. I feel like they're hiding this from me. I feel like they're having an affair. I feel like they're doing all these things. I feel underappreciated. I feel not communicated with, all of the things. And it's because you're so caught up in the struggles that you're going through in life. And nobody's probably talking to you about those struggles. And your mental battles are just yours because you've chosen to make them yours. You don't know how to communicate with your spouse. And so they just kind of go. And you go, and then she goes, and then you all drift apart. And so you just have to be very cognizant of the changing tides of a marriage. It's like Anita was on the show last week, and she was talking about how she's been with her partner for 7 years. They've been married for 2. And then the question came out, what's the difference between being married for 2 years and 10 years? It's like exactly 5 times the amount of 2. Like 5 times the amount of the worries and the struggles and the good times and the bad times. You just have more experience with each other, more hurts, more bad, more good. all of those things. You know more about each other, and you guys have aged together an appropriate amount. And so, look, your wife, she may be perfect right now, and maybe you know that she's not. I know that you probably know that she's not. But it's going to get worse. It ain't going to get better. Or maybe it will get better, but in ways that you may not recognize. Like maybe 10 years from now, she's going to be 39. She's going to be approaching 40. Maybe she's like rubbing right up against menopause. And she's not as attractive as she used to be in her eyes, but maybe she is to you. Because, she's been yours for 10 years, and she knows just how you like your ham sandwich. She knows just how you like your food seasoned. She does all of these things that make you know that she appreciates you, and you hopefully have in turn similarly communicated those things to her, whatever that might be. She becomes more attractive, not physically, because you now are like intergalactically intertwined in a way that's irreversible. And that's how people stay married forever. And what happens is when you get in the marriage and you've made this huge commitment to each other, you lose touch of that, and there is no intertangling that occurs. There's no interdependence that happens, and you guys drift apart, and you end up in an office like mine, talking about whether or not you had a prenup, talking about who's going to pay alimony, who's going to pay child support, what's the visitation schedule going to be for the minor children, whether or not they're going to go to a private school or a public school, whether or not they're going to be Catholic or Christian, whether or not they're going to be Mormon or Muslim. All of this heartache because you didn't evolve your lens of how you viewed your wife. All that long story to say is that, and it goes really for her too, you have to give each other grace in how you age and how you fail together. The successes are going to be easy. Like, you settle this big case, you just got a whole settlement, $250,000. You guys are going on a trip to Italy. Good for you. It's really easy to celebrate that and appreciate that. But if you don't also similarly acknowledge and take solace in failing together, then that's how you fail to become intertwined. And it's how you grow apart. It's how you grow distant. And it's how you start moving away from each other. And so if I were to sum that up in one word, I would say grace. Have it for your partner. And that's the end of my rant.
I want to know how a Mormon and a Muslim don't realize that they're the other's language or the other's religion.
Brad, you would be the one to fixate on that.
Like, of all of the religions to choose, that is the most interesting pair.
I just threw stuff out at random. I didn't have this rehearsed. You know what I mean? I had to keep the flow going.
What? You think about all of this stuff on the spot?
Totally. Oh, it's I do this for a living, believe it or not. All right. That was that. What time is it? It's 7:26. Do y'all want to do one more or no? How's your stamina looking?
I'm a little tired.
Yellow jackets at the truck stop, so I'm good for at least another hour.
I'm always good.
I'll do one more. I'll make sure it's short.
You should also check the private chat.
Oh,
maybe almost 2 hours into this random stream would be great to promote Mike Maricini's GoFundMe.
Oh boy. By the way, Mike Maricini has a GoFundMe, as you know, or may know. He has been victimized by Laura Owens in the past. He had a frivolous restraining order brought against him by her false allegations against him. And she is seeking to permanently renew the restraining order against him that is currently affecting his livelihood. It's affecting his employment prospects. And it's honestly sullying the good name of a good man. He is in dire straits. He's attempting to raise funds for legal counsel to fight this new request at renewal from Laura Owens. And he has a GoFundMe page. How do I drop a link? You know what? I'm just going to put it in the chat. Hopefully that works. And then
if you go to YouTube, you can pin it after you do that.
Yeah. All right. Here's the link. Well, obviously I just put it in the private comments. Here's the link, and I'm going to pin it. If you guys feel so inclined to help Mike Maricini fight the good fight, against a vile and vicious, fraudulent, frivolous woman, then go to his GoFundMe page and contribute what you can. He would be eternally grateful for doing that.
And he already paid $50,000 in full for the initial 2018 fight against the DVRL.
That's wild.
Before he ended up signing on at the advice of his then attorney, signing that document.
$50,000 to stipulate to a restraining order is wild.
That is wild. Like,
Damn.
How much work did she do to then say, no, you should just give in? Like, that is...
Yeah, I don't know that, but I know it's 50,000.
Yeah, well, he's not laying down for this one, but he needs help. And so go to his page and learn about his story. If you haven't seen his story, go to victimsofloweromens.com and you'll read all about him. Before there was ever a Clayton Eckert, before there was ever a Greg Gillespie.
Or the Padlet.
Or the Padlet.
Search, I don't know, what do you search? All the best research, Michael Maricini.
Yeah.
But I want to hear it from his own mouth. He did an interview with Megan Fox. And that's
a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a good dude. And so he needs help. And we're willing to try to see what we can do to help him out. You know what? I think I'm going to end the show on that note. How about that? Unless y'all are feeling
sorry if I killed the mood.
It's all right.
No, you know what? I'll do this one. This one is short.
I made a video about the GoFundMe, and the link to the Megan Fox interview is in the description.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. By the way,
people want that. So, and it also has a link to another video that's useful as well.
What is the name of your YouTube channel, Bruce?
Bruce from Oregon.
Bruce from Oregon. And then
Moose,
obviously
Moose from Oregon.
Bruce the Moose. He'll donate his antlers.
Once I'm not in Oregon, I'm going to change it.
He'll rub you with his antlers.
Oh, don't rub me, Bruce. I don't want to be rubbed. Don't rub me.
Ooh.
What is a Henry
I only
finance?
rub antlers with consent.
High earners, not rich yet. Okay.
Oh boy. All right. This last one. We'll go quick. So he's a longtime lurker. I read the rules. I don't think my post will violate it. I'm in a big pickle. We'll love to hear some thoughts, advice, experience from folks here. Are there Henrys out there who grew up with the earn it survival mindset? You have to work hard, earn your way in your life, and scarcity mindset, and have been able to overcome both once you have had some financial stability. I grew up feeling poor with both of those mindsets heavily indoctrinated in me, and earning and achievement gives me a lot of validation and security. What it didn't give him is writing structure. I also have illogical thinking around money where I think I never have enough and I always need more for worst case scenarios. I am afraid that my mindset is no longer serving me because I recognize how messed up the mindset is in my current financial situation and because of who I'm married to. Some context to follow. I am married to a great guy who does not have these mindsets at all and who was born into a pretty well-off family where he doesn't have to worry about money the way that I do. We are in our early 30s. He and I met when we first graduated from college and were in our first job almost 8 years ago. And over time, I realized that he just doesn't have career ambition. And it took me a while to accept that. He was still in a pretty lucrative career making decent money, so it wasn't really that big of an issue either. However, he got laid off more than a year and a half ago, struggled to find a job in our field. In this unemployment journey, I learned that he really just doesn't care that much about making money at all. And with his background and upbringing, it makes sense. He already has over $1.5 million in assets himself from inheritance and earnings, which honestly, it's not that much. And it is very, very likely he will receive more inheritance later in life too. Well, that's different.
Hold on. How old are they?
He doesn't say, or she doesn't say. I'm still trying to figure out what a Henry is.
It's to the right, up to the right.
What, this?
High earners, not rich yet.
Oh, well, look at the big brain on Brad. Never been actually ever used that line with the actual person named Brad. How about, you know what? It is a good day. It is a good day. He just wants to be happy and enjoy life. He does want to have a job. I'm sorry. What does that mean? High earner, not rich yet. Got it. He just wants to be happy and enjoy life. He does not want to have a job, but doesn't care that much about how much he will make from it. He's about to start a job that earns him $70K a year. In our city, $70K is not going to cut it for our lifestyle. But combined with my income, $600K, we are totally fine. We have plenty of savings. His mindset is such a healthier mindset, one that I think I would love to have. But my earn it and scarcity mindset are also what got me to where I am today, where I am financially independent-ish, 1.3 million in assets, and I really value self-reliance. So I guess I'm just really lost as to whether this is something I can overcome, or if the difference in our mindsets and relationship with money is truly financial incompatibility. I would love to hear your experiences or advice, if any, both in terms of the relationship and also shifting this survival mindset. Thank you. Well, what in the hell is her question? Bruce, what is she asking me?
Should she break up with this guy because they're incompatible in terms of financial mindset and capability? Or should they get married? In which case the advice is get a prenup.
No, it says I am married.
Yeah,
they're
married.
already married, but she's talking about their finances like they're individual people that happen to reside in the same spot.
Yeah.
They're
She's
not
a
talking
post
about
nup.
this.
Can she get a post nup?
He ain't gonna agree to that shit. Why would he do that? Post nups never work.
Oh, she's screwed then. Her $1.3 million is
assuming she don't have premium, but maybe not. So here's the deal. Let's just assume they live in a community property state. It seems to be a short-term marriage, less than 10 years. Almost 8 years ago was their first job, so they've been together for, I have no idea how long they've been married, but it seems like less than 10 years. She is the breadwinner. She's going to be responsible for paying alimony to him for at least half the length of the marriage. Let's say they're married for 8 years. That's 4 years of alimony. No children. Thankfully, that makes it easier. Whatever they've purchased during the marriage, they'll have to split down the middle. But to the extent that she had separate property assets prior to their marriage, she gets to keep that as her separate property. There may be a community interest. There may not. They got to work that out. I'll just tell you this. It's going to hurt now, but it's going to hurt a lot more later if this ever turns into a long-term marriage where she's going to have to pay alimony for the rest of his life or until he remarries. So get a load of that. And they, in California, will take into account their lifestyle. She's making $600K a year. He's making 70. That is an upper middle class lifestyle in California. That's going to result in something like probably $5,000 a month in alimony for the next 4 years for this guy. Or if he could swing it for life, maybe. And he's probably going to rely, what's his earning capacity? Well, about $70,000 a year.
Do you guys do pre-tax or post-tax alimony?
Gross. So pre-tax.
What?
We calculate income by the gross before taxes.
Doubling his income in alimony.
I think it's going to be way more than 5K then.
It probably, I can just throw it in a calculator and figure out what it is, but it's going to be something ridiculous, and he's going to live fine off of that. And he's got money coming, I guess. It sounds like from an inheritance later. He's probably got a trust fund. He's the beneficiary of a trust somewhere. And why would he be motivated to do anything more than what he's doing? Why? Obviously, he's not stressed because he's set up, And she, having not come from that background, has scrimped and saved and achieved her way to a net worth of $1.3 million, which still does not equal what he was given. Of course, they're going to have different mindsets. So look, if it ain't working for her, she might as well make the decision now. He's a great guy for all other respects. All I know is I just got done watching the 3rd season of White Lotus, or season 2 of White Lotus.
Nice.
Spoiler alert. I don't want to spoiler it for you, but there was a similar couple, is all I'm going to say.
Oh,
and
I got to watch
he's good to get everything but for her death. So All I'm saying is White Lotus is a good show for one. For two, yeah, she's in a precarious financial situation. That's why most people that have this kind of income are attracted to people of equal income, because you run into these kinds of scenarios.
I mean, is it really that precarious? Even if she ends up having to pay alimony and splitting like a house or something, she'll still have a lot of money. It's just,
I mean, there's
won't have as much.
It's going to hurt. For sure.
I think the bigger problem are these psychological problems that she's alluding to in the second paragraph. I think she needs therapy to deal with that.
I don't know if she needs therapy or not. Maybe she does. It's going to bother.
It was the first paragraph. Then it's the one up above. She was.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. His mindset is going to bother her always. He's always just going to be the guy that goes.
No, I think it's her mindset. If she grew up in this,
her mindset is going to bother her because he's not doing the thing that she's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is I like to try and follow the Japanese word called ikigai, which is you
are an ikigai.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Damn.
Your politics are ikigai politics.
Oh no!
But ikigai is the idea that what earns you money is matched with what brings you purpose, as well as everything else. There's 4 different things, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. But if he is happy doing the job that earns $70,000, and that is what he's driven to do, there may not be upward mobility to earn $600,000. So he might not be feeling that same way that she does. But if he's being fulfilled in that position, then why would you be upset that he is happy where he is?
What you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for.
Yes, that is the 4 foundations of Ikigai.
Totally. Also, never mind. Look, I think that these two are unequally yoked, to use a Christian term, in terms of their prosperity mindsets. He's always going to feel inferior, and maybe he doesn't give a shit, but he's always going to feel like this tinge of condescension from her because of his mindset, and there's not really any motivation to change it, is there? She's always going to feel this tinge of resentment towards him because of his laissez-faire attitude towards life that doesn't jive with her scarcity mindset, and it's not going to mesh. And so I would be of the camp that she should probably just move on now and pay whatever 4 years of alimony is going to be and divide up the assets now, because it's going to hurt a lot much more financially. Or if she thinks that whatever his positive traits are worth this kind of sacrifice, just know what you're paying for. Just know that you don't have a congruous relationship, and there's not really much prospects of fixing that. That's how it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
To speculate a little bit, which I never do, if they don't mesh properly, she's going to end up on the Jumbotron at a Coldplay concert.
Oh, by the way, did you see that guy's wife?
No.
All I'm saying is just look at that girl that he was with and then his wife, and it's like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking?
Well, her headshot on the website was better than what she looked like at the Coldplay concert.
They always are, man.
Yes, they always are.
Fucking AI. What are you gonna do?
But also, you try to look like actually nice for like a headshot, right?
Well, that is yeah. And she was
probably. We don't know anything, We don't. This guy's wife could be an asshole. We don't know.
True, exactly.
Maybe not. We don't know.
Maybe.
It doesn't make being on the Jumbotron right, but
Bringing us back to the situation, though, is she needs to understand the financial calculus of, even if she leaves him, her income is at such a high level that she is going to out-earn any potential shortfall in having to pay alimony and breaking up with this guy. That because his 70K income and a $1.5 million asset value, he's at like 8x what he's 8x? Yeah, he's at 8x saved versus what he has. He is only at 2x of what she makes. but in the next 10 years, he's going to be worth something in the neighborhood of $10 million by then.
You know what this reminds me of is and Omar, oh boy, what is that?
What? I didn't do anything.
Omar, you went over this case with Dave Neal, the Rachel Lindsay Brian Abasolo case. That's what this post reminds me of.
I don't know, man. I just think that I feel like this is the theme of the night. Like, how much are you willing to settle? Because Schnitzel said it. Everybody settles to a certain degree. I said be meticulous and very picky with who you choose to be a life partner. There was a lot of red flags here. Like, this could have been just like a 2-month fling, and you learned a lot and you changed your mindset because you guys had this connection. But hey, ultimately he's kind of lazy, and you're not down for that. You need somebody that's more, I don't know, steadfast in their ambition. And then she could have moved on to like whoever was next and found what she was looking for. Instead, she has this guy that she connected with in some level that doesn't match the intensity of her ambitions. That's really tough to reconcile. That's basically the equivalent of marrying somebody with a low sex drive when you have an ultra high sex drive. You're never going to be satisfied by anything that they do because you need too much and they can't provide what you need. It's just how it is. And I don't know how old this guy is. I'd imagine he's probably over 27, let's just say. But they've been together long enough where they know each other a little bit. Like, it is what it is. He's not going to change from here on out. She's got to make a decision. Yeah, sure. Try to get him to sign a post-nuptial agreement. Good luck with that. Or just divorce him now. Be friends. Maybe you guys reconnect and after divorce. It happens. But if she's worried about
I think the more important thing is getting the mental health help to deal with her mindset about the scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm. Brad,
especially making $600,000, like that's wild. And congratulations,
so she can afford therapy.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to wrap up FLAD with that tonight because Brad is getting tired. He needs to sleep. He was on child duties this afternoon, as was Schnitzel, and so I imagine you all are tired.
I'm not trying to make people yawn. Yawns just happen.
I understand. Well, folks, I love you all. Thank you guys for sticking with us for the 2 hours and 7 minutes that we went. It was 37 minutes longer than I anticipated.
That's what she said.
Totally. Bruce still looks like he's coming out of a potato. He's frozen on the screen there.
Hey, I tried.
I know. We love you, Bruce.
You were just smiling.
It was this creepy pedo smile. Bruce is not a pedo.
No.
Oh, no.
Let's say that.
What have I done?
Anyway, folks, I love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, would you blow me?